Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. We are live Monday, November 17th. Let's get right into it. We mapped out a section here, a level here on the ES that I was interested in at the 6719.50. But I would like to see, the first like 10 minutes of the market. I typically like to just kind of see how the price action kind of reacts here at the open. Just opened about a minute ago. So I wouldn't take this setup just yet at the 6719, but this is one that I'm definitely going to be eyeing out. And then as far, there's a bunch of levels that I got to map out on the ES and the NQ, but I'm very interested to see what type of reaction we get here at the 6719. Morning, Spence. Morning, Steve. Morning, Show Me the Money. Morning, Nordic. Greg, good morning. Nelson, good morning. Thanks for signing up for the Signal service. If you can, I'm going to give you my email. If you could just send me an email with your Discord user ID, and I'll put you into that group right after the stream. What's his name? Let's see. There you go. So just use that email right there. Let's jump to the 5. All right, there's an area up here that I need to take a look at, which is currently sitting from the 6801 down to the 6777. Let's see what's going on there. Kind of a small TP on that one. Probably target right there. Okay. All right, so the setup above us on the ES, we've got an area at the 6783.50, targeting 6780.75. TP2 would be at 6778, and our stop loss would be at 6788.50. Again, entry at the 6783.50, targeting the 6780.75. TP2 at 6778, and our stop loss at 6788.50. Below us, there's a setup here I'm been eyeing out at the 6719.50, targeting 6723.50. TP2 6726.50, stop loss at the 6712.50. Consider this right now about a B setup. This one up here I definitely like. It's about an A minus setup right now. I just want to see how volume kind of starts to fill in on those areas. And then on the NQ, let's take a look here. This is all pretty garbagey right here. Got an area right here. See how this fills in. Not super clean. Not super clean. We're probably going to see a reaction point. Let me jump down here to like the 5 minute. Let's see how. Okay. So I got this little area of interest at the 25, 179 up to the 185. Not super clean yet. I do like where it's sitting on the volume profile though. So this would look something like this. Kind of some pretty small targets though. Pretty small targets here. This one's coming quick. I might not be able to get into this one, but so we had the reaction right there. I was off by about a tick or two. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. I missed that one by about a point. That was a reaction point right there. 25, 179. That was a reaction point. Morning, Key. Dang. Well, we missed that one. Missed that one by a point. Oh, the ES is moving. Let's see what's happening here. Man. So that one balanced out the volume that I was looking at here. Got some defense at the 180s. Might not be terrible. It's freezing in here. All right, there was the tap. Uh-oh. Got in a little late on that one. Little late on that one. Did they leave anything? All right, TP1, TP2 hit. Nice trade. Nice trade, nice trade. Good way to start the morning. Let's go. TP1, TP2. Let's hit the like on the stream. Early. That was an early one. All right, let's see what else we can get. Let's take a screenshot of this guy. Boom. All right, let's take away this. Let's jump to the 5. Sure did. It's a nice one. Good job, Spence. Weird, my ES looks so different from yours. I don't know what you mean by that. Probably price action? Can't see that being different. All right, let's see what else we got on the NQ. We had a big push, obviously. We had a big push from down here. My only issue is the push really came from that 8:30 open, which I'm not a huge fan of. A little unpredictable volume sits right at the open, right on the initial push, so I don't put a lot of weight on that. I'd rather play the areas that we still have this set up at the 25,290.75, targeting the 25,284 and the 25,277.75, with a stop loss at the 25,297.45. So that's on the NQ. Take a look at that one. 25,290.75, targeting the 25,284 and the 25,277, with the stop loss at the 25,297. We'll put this one here. The ES. We've got a setup here on the ES for short at the 67.8350. $67.83.50. Targeting TP1 would be at the 67.80.75. TP2 would be at the 6778, with a stop loss at the 67.88.50. No, Morgan, it was about a couple minutes ago. It was right around 8:40, 8:41. We took a short on the NQ. TP1, TP2 got hit on that setup. Oh my god, I like the ES, the short. I like the short a lot better than the long right now. At the 67.83.50. Forgot my coffee upstairs. Guys, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab my coffee. Jules, I'm on the December contract. That's what everybody should be on. All right, some strong pushes here, huh? Why is this taking still so long? Did a bunch of tech stuff to the computer, overclocked it, did everything I could find on YouTube, but I'm still having this issue on moving my intervals. It's taking way too long on stream. Doesn't happen when I'm not on stream, but I may have to, from what I was reading online, I may have to reinstall NinjaTrader. Just do a fresh install. Which I really didn't want to do because then I got to redo all my charts with the streaming software. Come on, hurry up. Obviously, one little worry I have here is 300s. The 25 300s is an area that obviously we're going to see a lot of stops at. Not a lot of stops. I'm sorry. There's a lot of pending orders right here. So we just got to make sure that we watch out for that sweep right there. That's one concern I got. We've got a lot of defense at the 85s, which I like. That's a good layer of defense right there, the 85s. Looks like the NQ and the ES might, I would think that the NQ might hit a little bit sooner. But not sure. How was everybody's weekend? Played golf on Saturday with my son, which was awesome. We had it was like 66 degrees here on Saturday, and for mid-November, that's pretty damn awesome compared to about 40 degrees here today. Hence the reason for the hoodie already this morning. It's freezing down here. Oh yeah, he is hysterical. I had to look him up just to make sure it was the same guy I was thinking of. Yeah, he is funny. So far, the movement on the NQ to the upside has been a little sloppy, so nothing there yet. Just hoping that we could probably find something right here, but nothing's showing up yet. I'm not super thrilled on how this is showing up on the volume profile. Kind of on the back side of the volume profile here. $67.80. Let's see what that's. So we're gonna see a lot of fight here at the at TP2. 67.78. Let's see. Let's see. This has just been balanced already, so that might be a fight right here. It's pretty balanced. Nothing super interesting on the prop firm front. Apex is still at 50% off. 1 day to pass, which is, you know, that's pretty much their stock discount. Tradeify is 30% off. They're running that now till November 30th. Take Profit's the best deal right now at 40% off, plus no activation fee. And then Fundy Ticks, if you've never used them before, it's 35% off. Not a bad deal. Nothing as far as news this morning either. I'm pretty light on the news front for a good week and a half. Now that the government's probably reopening, it's gonna start to see a lot more of the economic data starting to be released again. And we got NVIDIA earnings coming out soon. I know there's some Fed speakers out. They probably finished. I think we got some more Fed speakers around noon. Interested to see here what U.S. construction spending comes in at. I'd say it's got to be on the downside. Well, it's projected to be 0.1% negative, so I'll be interested to see here what that comes out at. Oh no, that wasn't for today. Yeah, it was for today. Oh, it came up. See? That's what happens when you think you know something. All right, so an early winner here this morning on the NQ short. For TP1 and TP2. Nothing's clean. All these pullbacks are, you can see the high wicks on here. They're just balancing out volume as they're going down, which is not what I like to see as a volume trader. I want to see impulsive moves down with very little rebalancing of volume as they're coming down. This is all shit. You get destroyed here. That is an area to get destroyed. Morning only futures. Buddy Nor, would you say your strategy is also effective without using level 2? Yeah. Yeah, I only started using level 2 6 months ago. I was trading the levels before that. I was trading my daily levels without volume profile, and I was successful. Now, when you add volume profile, you add level 2. That's where you really start to get a nice edge. And it just confirms what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. I heard having a lot of data downloaded for backtesting. I don't do a lot of backtesting on my basement, on my studio PC. I do a lot of my backtesting still upstairs. I don't think it's that. I do remember when I built the PC and I installed Ninja, I did get an error on the first attempt of installing the program. And I tried reinstalling it, and it went through, and it was what I consider to be fine. My only issue has been on stream. On stream, when I go to change intervals, especially down to like the 1 minute, it just lags. It lags for like 30 seconds to make that change. And when I was in Florida on my laptop, on my new laptop, which is pretty badass laptop, but I still think that the specs on this computer down here are stronger than the laptop. It was moving through intervals really quickly on stream with probably less internet connection than I have here. I have blazing fast connection here. So a lot of me is really thinking, because everything else is super fast. Everything. I mean, everything is just like instant, open, instant executions. And even when I'm off stream, it's not this bad. But I know that's going to cost me one day if I don't get this resolved pretty quickly. And then once I do make the move from like the 5 to the 1 or the 1 to the 15 and back, then after that, it seems to go pretty smooth. It's just that first initial interval where I guess it's going through tick data and all that jazz. All right, so let's see, what is the NQ looking for? Got a lot of supply right here. So this should be an interesting area. A lot of it's going to be a lot of absorption right here. What other target do they have in mind here? Yeah, not much. They like the 177s, so right around here. It's going to be an area that they're going to come after. Open up an auction there. And then they got the 100s right here. A lot of stops. Psychological number. That's an easy one to spot. All right there, they're going to come after. So they opened up their auction right here. There's a lot of absorption right here. And Most likely they're going to dump everything here at the 25 100s. Would make sense. They get through there. I would actually like to see a strong pullback here. I'd like to see this go right through the 100s. Because then we could start mapping out these areas right here. They just left a lot of unbalanced volume there. I just want to see them break at least some mini structure. And then if they can attack the IB low, that would be even better. Retest that now. Retest the 100s here. Finish off your auction here. There you go. There you go. There's the blow through. Easy to spot. Now we can take a look right here and see if we can find a really quick. They left me an area right here. But that is sweepy right here. This is gonna be a stop loss area right here at the 158s. I'm sorry, 159s. That's an area that you definitely want to avoid because yes, we can get the reaction at the entry, and you know, most likely we can probably get TP1, TP2, but there's a much bigger chance that they make that final sweep right into this stop loss area at the 159s. So that's a big trap right there. Let's go back down to the ES. ES is cooking. Get rid of this guy. Now that they've completed an auction here, or completed and then opened, most likely are going to target this shaded area that I had marked off. This is tricky here, right here, though. I mean, yes, I can formulate a setup, but low probability. This is what it would look like. And my issue is the stop. Stop right there could get swept very easily. So we'll just see what happens here. I'm not going to take this trade, though. And their eye on the prize right now is the 177s. So this is what the market does every day, all day long. And again, you might get it here, but this is not an A setup for me, just because of this right here. Well, that was a nice little sweep right there. It was about a point and a half away from. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of unbalanced volume that they left right here. That's why you're starting to see now a big fight here. Again, if you had level 2, you would have just seen the craziness, all the absorption that just happened right here. It was pretty nutty. Now you can take a look at the footprint chart. What we're looking for is a red footprint candle with green positive delta. The more positive delta, the better. So that missed there right there by like maybe a tick and a half. That would have, and that already swept TP1 and TP2 about a tick away. So the reaction points is easy. I mean, I can find those all day long. I'm just looking for setups that make a lot of sense. Now they've balanced out a lot of this right here that I was expecting. And this just came out of the move. You know, once you break structure, it's pretty simple. For the reason why people always say, or traders always say, look for areas where that they break structure. The reason why it makes sense is because for it to break structure, it means that there was structure already. Where there is structure, there is going to be volume. And for them to break structure and on an impulsive move, they need a lot of volume to get through that previous structure. And what they do is they leave the unbalanced volume here. They pick up the liquidity, which I showed you guys that where that liquidity was sitting at. They swept it, and now they're just completing their auction. They're making their money. That's it. They're opening up an auction here and depositing it right there. Displacing it, technical term. It's pretty simple. Once you figure out auction theory, this game gets a lot easier. And the thing with the NQ is the NQ does break structure a lot. So that's why, you know, you see a lot more setups on the NQ than you do on the ES. But the ES, when they do break structure, those become very high probability because it just doesn't do it a lot. You too, Floggy. Good morning, Nate. Woo! That was a big move there, big absorption there. They just fueled this move. I believe the 177s is going to be their target. They got the 152s, which sits right here. It is kind of nice though. There is a nice little level of defense sitting right in our area that they're going to want to tap into. It could just be very sweepy. That's my fear. No, Nordic, I didn't take any class. This is honestly just me. This is just me looking at charts for a year and a half. Strictly, you know, I've gone over the story a few times. You know, I started off with just my levels. And then when I started to add the volume profile, and I would see that the levels that fit well on the volume profile seem to have such a better win rate reaction to where I was seeing very little drawdown. And then when I started to incorporate the level 2 book map, you can see what the market needs to do. I guess that's the best way to say it. Now, on days of high volatility, high impact news, headline news, tweets that come out, that's when the unpredictability of the market comes out. Okay. That's why I don't trade the first 10 minutes, or the pre 5 minutes going into the market, because those are position sizing. There is big players, big volume participants that are making, position sizing for the day, and that becomes very unpredictable. So you want to sit in areas that are the most predictable, like we're in right now. Like, this is an environment where the market's just doing what it wants to do every single day. We need large volume participants for us to be able to do what we do, win or lose. When you buy or sell, you need somebody on the other end to buy that or to sell that. And that's what the large volume participants do. They create the market, and they take areas of high interest, which was right down here. They had a big area right here. And they're facilitating business. And on the NQ, they broke structure again. Nothing super clean. Probably at the 100s, we might see a reaction right there. That was, could spot that one, but again, not high probability. They're just balancing out what they just left. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, hit the like on the stream, please. Appreciate it. So this shaded area right now is going to be impulsive. That's my bet here, is that this is going to be very impulsive. It could tap and take TP1 and 2 very quickly. It could very well sweep this 158s, even all the way up to the 25 177s. It could be a big move. A lot of fuel right there. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we got U.S. factory orders. Wednesday we got U.S. trade balance, oil inventory. And then the big one's going to be on the 20th. So we've got earnings, jobless claims, non-farm payrolls, U.S. unemployment rate. And those are going to be the first data that we're going to see for a while from that. So that is going to be very volatile on the 20th. Thursday. Wednesday we got NVIDIA. I guess now Trump is speaking today at 2 o'clock Central Time and 5 o'clock Central Time. Fear and greed index. Very strong fear. Okay. Has this level played out? Which level are we talking about, Jules? Yes is in a little range. Well, I don't have that as a setup, the 25 145. For me to have this marked out as a setup that I'm willing to take, you're gonna have to see the lines colored in. So blue for entry, greens for TPs. This is an area that I mapped out that I know we're going to have reaction, which we already have had twice. We had it 2 points off, 1 point off of entry. So in this scenario, this trade to me is probably a B- setup, something that I personally would not take. You could very easily get TP1 and TP2, but that's, I think it's a lower probability than the sweep here to the 158s and above. So don't trade just to trade. Just to trade to press the buttons. Trade for the high quality setups. Wait for the good ones. They come all the time. There's the tap. There you go. There was the sweep. That would have knocked you right out. That was the sweep I was worried about. Did you see how quickly they went through this gray shaded area right there? That's why. That was the fear. That was the fear. That played out exactly like what I thought it would. Okay, let's take these off. I'm telling you, you become a better trader when you can figure out what trades not to take, better than the trades to take, because they'll keep coming. The setups will keep coming. Let's move this guy over here. They're gonna want to play in that sandbox real soon. Even though they did take out a good shit ton amount of stops right here, so they could. Could take that right back down to the 125s. That's easy. Get some fuel right here, and then maybe make their push. Oh yeah, you missed that one by 3 ticks. All right, so IB is set. IB high is set at 25,254. IB low is at 24,955. We're just kind of sitting in this yucky range here. PLC, current PLC 25160. Tim, how many contracts you traded today? So I trade 2 cash accounts, 2 Ninja cash accounts, and then 5 funded accounts, 3 through funded ticks, Tradeify, and Take Profit Pro. So in cash today, I am up 165 in one cash account and 110 in the other cash account. And the rest, all the fundeds are sitting between 165 and 170. And then here are these are the stats for this month. So 80% win rate for this month, 90% day win rate. And this is today. This is just cash. This is nothing with the funded accounts are in this. And then last month was really nice. Last month we just had 1 loser, and that was 1 tick. I lost that IBNQ trade. Still talk about it. Stings, but it happens. All right, we're kind of in a lull here. Currently I've been trying affordable indicators for the copier. Used to use Replicanto, and so far I'd say they're pretty similar. I haven't really noticed anything bad. I haven't really noticed anything fantastically good. Just, I guess, works. And my leader account is my cash account. It's called Rob Live Main, and they're all exact duplicate copies of one E-mini contract. Yeah. Yeah, once the level's been taken out, all that volume's already been balanced out, so... Hey, good morning, Alan. It's a pretty nice reaction right here to the level I gave out this morning on my Discord at the 67.46. That played out really nicely. So again, this is an example of just trading the levels. That was good for 10 points. Just trading the levels, you know, without volume, without level 2. This is just the bare baseline levels. This is a 15-minute level. Let's see what the NQ did. Same thing on the NQ. 25.029 was the level I gave this morning. Oopsie. And that's where your bounce happened. So these are on my Discord every single morning. Every morning I map those out for everyone. That is, so if you go into my Discord, which is a link somewhere in the description, those are the levels the same levels that I mapped out from this morning. And I do that about an hour before the market opens. Well, Morgan, I'm going to give you the same thing. You got to tell me why. Don't give me levels unless you guys give me at least a few reasons to why you like the level. Because I could be sitting here doing this all day. I need to know what you want, why you like it. And then I'll let you know what I think about that level. Minute V reversal, although no structure break. Yeah, that's what you're missing. Very good. You're very good. So it's an area of unbalanced volume. You're right on that. You're definitely right on that. But it did not break any major structure yet. So for me, that makes it a little less probability. Because for it to be very impulsive, where volume gets left completely unbalanced, it typically 95% of the time needs to break another area that was previously unbalanced, and that's what shows the strength in the move. That's what shows the strength in the move. But everything else that you said there, Morgan, is 100% correct. Cigar on rocks. What's your best entry pattern? There's no real pattern that I have for my entries. I've got a 3-step process. I find my levels first on the 5 and the 15. I match that up with the volume profile to see how it fits, you know, where I like to see it on the volume profile. And then my confirmation of my levels come through level 2. There's a video in the description that's got pretty much all 3 of those videos covered for you. Cheers, bud. What's your favorite cigar? Yes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 monitors outside of this main screen that you guys are looking at right here. And of those 6, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 charts set up. Not including Bookmap, which I guess is also a chart, but come on, NQ, just take out this 177 already. And maybe that'll stimulate the market a little here. Let me swatch your mouth a second. You are ready for Wall Street Part 2. It's just, it's important to have all the tools around you. I get it. I know the tools cost money. But if you're serious about this business, they're very, very useful. Come on, markets, do something here. See, right here is a good inflection point for the ES. There's going to be a lot of absorption right here. That's good footprint confirmation right there. Let's see what happens here. See if we can break through these 55s. Might get some movement. Buyers are trying, but they're just not successful. Let's see if they can break through here. A lot of absorption. 67 contracts. They keep redefending it. The line in the sand right now is in this 52 to 55. We could break through that. We'll see some kind of action. I do. So yeah, I run my three strategies upstairs. Those are my mechanical strategies in gold, oil, and the 15-minute Rob reversal. Those are all set on automatic, on auto. I am looking for, on the footprint, I'm looking for a, let's see if I can find you a good example. That one that I called out earlier was a great footprint confirmation. Let's see, where was that? I think it was, no. See if I can find you a good example of one. This is kind of a half-ass example of one, but red footprint candle, positive delta. That's my confirmation on the footprint. And you'll usually see a pretty decent move to the downside from that. Now, the higher the positive delta, the better. and you were just on the, you flip that over for a long. Then I'd be looking for green footprint candle with negative delta. So right here, green footprint, negative 58 delta. Now, obviously it's got to be in an area of interest. So that's what I usually use when I'm coming up to my entries. The IB low or high. You got it, Casey. Big absorption here. You can see it on the footprint. Negative, what was this? Negative 62, negative 100. Big area of interest right here. So it's like they're forming the wall right here. They're forming the wall right at the 55s. We're just kind of stuck in this wedge right now. Spence, it's a good one. That's a good question. There's no good right answer I can give you because how can I explain this really well? Let's see if I can do this here. All right, let's see if I can do this correctly. I would like to use a marker, not that. Brushes, marker. Okay. So let's say you get a, you know, you got your line right here. Okay. This is the area of interest that we have. And you're getting obviously green footprint candles leading up into the entry. Okay. That's not gonna be perfect. Obviously you might have other candles. And you get a footprint that taps into your line. Okay. This footprint right here might have positive, let's just say 200 delta, okay? So plus 200 delta right here, okay? Then you get your red, let's see if I can get back into brush. Okay, then you get a red footprint candle that only has, let's just say 7, negative 7. Now you could say that that's not the best footprint confirmation, but in my scenario it would be, because you also have to look at the previous candle to see how much absorption, how strong were the buyers coming into this level. This then, the market absorbed all of that and still printed, actually I'm sorry, this would be a positive 8, not a negative 8. That's why paint doesn't really work too well. Sorry. Let's just say that was an 8, positive 8. So even though the 8 is a low number in relation to the previous footprint candle, which had all of the action, had all the juicy action, that's this would be a very good footprint confirmation. Now, on a different scenario, let's see if I can do this again here. New. On this scenario, you got your line. You've got green footprint candles coming up. Okay. And this green footprint candle only has, let's say, plus 40. Plus 40 delta. Then you get your red footprint candle that might also have plus 30. That's still an awesome footprint confirmation for me. Okay. Now, if this candle here only has like 10 and then this footprint confirmation only has like 7 or 8. That's not a good footprint confirmation. So it's kind of relative to where you're at. You know, if this is a, you know, obviously with level 2, it helps you out a lot. Where you're at, how big of, you know, how strong of an interest you're going to have at your reaction point. That's kind of what I look at. Sorry, I know that drawing might have not been the best, but all right, so we're about 20 points away from IB low. And we're still about 20 points from the ES trade, so I don't know. You could almost make a case for a quick scalp right here. You can almost make a case for, let's see what the 25.66. Not really, not defended super well yet. I'd like to see like this. Okay. The 70s could come through, that would be great. Let's see what happens here. 66, 65. I'd like to see a little bit more come in around the 68s. I don't see it yet. We'll see. We'll see if we can get a footprint confirmation here. Let's see what happens here. Also a little congested here too. $24,932. 932. Okay, let's take a look. I believe that is. Well, Brian, you're you're in an area that is unbalanced, so that's a positive already. So I like that you've got that at least thought process. So Brian, I like your play. I prefer to be at the 36s though, 37s. But you're right there. You're right there. It's a good find right there. Very good find. Don't see much coming in here yet. Well, let's see what we get here. Why not take the short down to your green line? I don't know, why would I? Not sure. How it gets to these balanced areas is always going to be a 50-50 proposition, because they can balance out areas up here very easily, and then you're just taking drawdown for no reason. I'd rather be positioned where I believe that the reaction is going to actually happen, not necessarily how it gets there. 20s are strong. Nothing below us right here, right now. It's a strong move, though. So on NQ, we've got a 25066.50 targeting the 25059.75, and then TP2 at the 25053 and a quarter with a stop loss at 25074.50. Not seeing the defense here at all. Need to see at least the 17s come in. And they're not. This guy go through a lot right here. A lot of unbalanced volume right here. Still no defense here. Still nothing coming in under our entries, which I don't like. So I gotta use the washroom. Let's go, let's go. Guys, prop up the ES for a little bit. I gotta use the washroom. Don't let it come down into our entry. All right, what did I miss here? Any footprint confirmation there? That was a good one. This was a decent one right here. Where's the defense at? 1250. Don't like that. Don't like the defense coming in at the stop loss area. Let's see. Wow. They left TP2 completely unbalanced, though. I like that. I do like that. Let's see here what we can get. Oh, they kind of formed a wall at the 20s now. 67 20s. I'd like to see them absorb some of this first. I just didn't see any defense going into this trade right here. Let's see. Wow. 1,096 contracts right there. Holy moly. They could bust through this. This could be violent to the upside right here too. There's a big possibility. Big possibility. I think they need to even balance out TP2. At least that's what I see. No sense in really moving my stop too much because next layer of defense is at the 12s. I'd like to see a quick move here. I'd like to see a quick move. They got to get to the 22s. That's the problem. Okay. It's a good target. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to see. That is not what I wanted to see. Come on. Make a push. They've got TP2 completely unbalanced, so there should be an aggressive... I would think this should be an aggressive move here. But I might get trapped here. I just don't feel like the stop is worth it to me going all the way down to the 12s when the 12s is the defense. So, if they're going to take me, might as well take me. If you're going to take it, buddy. But I ain't going to give you any more capital. All right. So let's see if that was a good preservation of capital there or not. I do see TP2 completely unbalanced, so that's, I think, definitely in play. Just don't have much defense here sitting right underneath us. I would have loved for like the 15s or the 14s to get propped up. That sucks. If I could break through these, like, this entry pretty much, that would be interesting. Got 20 points off the NQ. What was it, off the IB? Yeah, that was a nice play. I took the wrong play there. Let's see if my preservation of capital idea was the right play here or not. It just didn't feel like giving it that much space. And I also saw that 1,000 orders got absorbed. They just got to break to the 20s, 21. Could be a free fall for the upside. Yeah, I had to use the washroom, to be honest with you, and I just did not, I didn't even get to look at the IB. Let's see. Negative delta, big one. Let's go. All right, I'm going to go all the way up to my TP2. And let's give this about 4 points there. Let's see. If they break through here, it should be a pretty decent move. At least that's what I see. And I missed that NQ. Kind of sucked. One tick right there. Come on, make the move. Punch through those 25s now. Punch through the 25s. Por favor. All right, that was TP1 for those that were in on a limit order. Come on. Go for the gold. I shouldn't be greedy. But I do. Dang, man, that was close. Now they got to get through the 25s. Let's go. Punch through there. Punch through there. Got to get through the 25s. They're going to punch through there. All right, let's go to the 25s. Let's take some profit here at least, if we can get it. If we can get it. Yeah, I'm trying for TP2. Let's go for TP2. That's what I'm hoping for. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, no. You know, you want the 25s. Let's go. Let's at least give me that. At least give me that. Good job, Nordic. No more retest here. No more retest. We don't need a retest. We don't need a retest. Oh, shit. Come on. No retest here. Oh, that's not good. That was not a good impulsive move right there. That was not a good impulsive move. Come on. That's a big fight right here, man. Oh, there you go. Thank you. TP2. TP2, come. So, man, all that, I'm pretty much, I made at least a couple $100 more. Don't make me look bad. Take the TP2. Don't make me look bad. There you go. TP1, TP2. TP1, TP2. Drop a like on the stream, guys. Let's do this one. Nicely done. All right, yeah, I'll take that. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. That's how it's done. So my preservation of capital on the first play was pretty stupid. But they didn't come in. They weren't coming in very strong. But then on that second, on my second entry, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was about 1,200 orders, contracts that came in on the buy side. So I knew that was going to be an area of big contention, and this thing's going to just keep ripping. I'm kind of mad that we missed the NQ. NQ IB low would have been a nice play. Oh, wow, this thing's coming, huh? Be very careful now with the signal, people, on the NQ. It just, this had a lot of fuel here. A lot of fuel. So be very careful now with this short setup at the 25.066. That was where our entry was. I'm sorry, on the ES. Where our entry was the reactionary point of the market. And you can, hopefully you guys saw that on the footprint. There was prints for 1,200 contracts, 300 contracts. That's where the big players stepped in. Right here. Right here. Let's see what's going on here now. Oh, it's very violent right now, too. Very violent. 66s. All right, we have some defense at the 70s. I do like that, but it is so violent. This might come in real fast. I'm looking at it, Barbarian. I'm looking at it. I just did a lot of upward pressure, man. There was a big auction process for where that same place from the NQ to the ES. So they could have their eye on the prize way up to the top side that I had marked off at the 177s. There's entry. Shit, I didn't see. No footprint confirmation. No footprint confirmation yet. Okay, that was a decent footprint confirmation, to be honest with you. I hope I didn't. I didn't listen to myself. I did not listen to myself. Oh, I should have listened to myself there. That was a dumb move. There was way too much upward pressure there. Now they are stepping in, huh? A lot of pressure there. Man, I got smoked. I got smoked. Dang it. I did not listen to myself there. So from green to red to green to red. I don't like those days. Don't like those kind of days. Do not like those days. Yeah, that was just, you saw the impulse. It was very impulsive to the upside. I said it and I just didn't even listen to my own self. I should have listened to myself on that trade. Didn't have a good feeling about that one. But now what do we got? Damn. Just entered into an NES spot too. We just got into an ES spot. Oh, that would have been a decent trade right there. Son of a gun, serious. It's that one. Wow, this thing's on the move. This thing is on the move. Don't like going from green to red twice in the same day. That to me is a sign that we might be done. It's coming for these 177s. Let's take a screenshot of this guy. Yeah, I did get the footprint confirmation. I got it a little late, but I did not listen to myself. I even said it. There's a lot of downward, a lot of upward pressure there, but that's okay. You win some, you lose some. Well, I hate to leave the stream down. $200. So on the ES, I get rid of these guys. So on the ES, we do have a nice play still waiting for us at the 67.8350, targeting the 67.80 and then the 67.78 with a stop at the 67.88. I could get rid of that. That was just some defense that had come in before. So again, short at the 67.8350, targeting the 67.80 and 3/4, and then the 67.78. So what was that? 3 setups, 2 for winners, 1 loser. I took a nasty loser, but it's okay. Let's take a screenshot of this guy. It's okay. Get rid of this. Delete, delete, delete. All right, we keep it real here, guys. Hit the like on the stream. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 8:30. For those on the signal service, look out for any signals that might be coming your way after the stream. Take care, everybody. See you guys tomorrow.